ELeaf iStick Kiya 50-watt kit. Let's have a look. Hey guys, Vick here, back with another review. Today we are looking at this, the ELeaf iStick Kiya, which comes with the ELeaf GS Juni tank. It's a 50-watt built-in battery box mod that comes with this mouth-to-lung tank. 0.7 ohm coil as standard in this. It's a 50-watt mod with a 1600 mAh built-in battery. It's got TC, it's got TCR, it's got bypass, it's got all that stuff. It's got this really funky new screen from ELeaf as well. Let's dive down low and have a really good look at this pocket-friendly mouth-to-lung banger. See you in a sec. Okay guys, here we are up close with the iStick Kiya. This is the box, the packaging. Less is more, says at the bottom. Very interesting. Yeah, so this is the packaging. This is the box. All good stuff. Let's crack her open like this, and we're presented with this. This is the mod tank, and then underneath that you've got your charge cable, a spare coil, and manuals and stuff. Okay, so this is the tank. This is the ELeaf GS Juni. Tiny little guy here, tiny little guy, normal 510 drip tips, but anything longer than this would look weird, so just stick with this one I think. Matches up nicely with the black O-rings and the black drip tip. You've got, significantly, you have got your adjustable airflow, so you can open it wide up, wide up, way past what you'd expect, and you can close it right down. I've got one hole there and two holes here, seems to be where I'm at. Really nice, really nicely done. One thing this doesn't seem to have, please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but this does not seem to have top fill. No top fill on this tank. To change the coil and to fill up, you need to turn it upside down, unscrew this, and just squirt your juice down the side there. This is the coil. There's not really much to see because it's quite a closed unit. Yeah, that is the coil head there. Let's pop it back together, and then we'll stick it on the mod. So this is the 510, nice little 510, almost perfectly flush. It seems to be tiny bit raised there. Don't know if that's coming across on camera, but spring loaded all the same, and this goes down really neat, really flush. 22mm tanks would be fine. Looks as though there's comfortably room for a 24mm tank there actually as well. But this is a very small mod, so choice of tanks, an interesting one. So this is the mod. Got that 510. It's got a rubberized side here. It's got this sort of interesting sort of engraving patterny thing, sort of grippy thing, which is making the camera go crazy. Underneath you've got your charge cable port bit. You've got a bit of venting, iStick Kiya written on the side there as well. And you've got your minus plus buttons there. So, this is where the magic happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Built-in battery, of course, so I can't show you any door or anything like that. The whole thing is completely rock solid, really well put together. And look at this screen. What a beautiful thing this screen is. So, navigating this screen, you've got your battery indicator at the top, you've got your coil there, 0.7. These coils are 15 watts I've got, 3.26 volts. You got your amps there. When you fire it, that comes up. To navigate this, 5 clicks on, 5 clicks off, 1, 2, 3, and you are in this sexy new menu. So you've got mode, which is where you can change variable wattage, TC, TCR, clock and all that. You've then got set. There's absolutely loads of options in here. You can lock your coil resistance. You can select TC power. Now that's important. When you get into TC mode, it only lets you go up and down on the Fahrenheit. So you need to go into set to change the wattage that you want to vape at TC. You've got stealth. You've got sub-para. Now this is actually just your puff time or what you want displayed in that bottom corner. I've got it on amps. I do recommend using amps. You've got your clock, preheat functions, timeout, ENU. That's the fancy charging thing that they've got, the charge protection to stop the mod getting too hot when charging. You've got info. This is where you can look at what version of the firmware you've got on your mod, and your battery level. You can inspect your battery level more closely there, and you've got exit as well. So if we go mode and we go TC, it's got bypass as well. I know some people like bypass. It does have that, so we can go NI, and then in here we can change the Fahrenheit. And remember, you need to go into set to change that power mode there, the amount of watts that it's pumping you at. So 1, 2, 3. Let's go back to how I have it set up. Variable wattage. Happy days. Really cool. Really cool menu. Really cool screen. Absolutely love it. And there it is. There it is. The Kiya. Let's fly back up top and have a chat about this. Okay, guys, that was the ELeaf iStick Kiya kit down low. Really funky little thing. Mouth to lung vape for sure. It really does nail this mouth to lung thing. I'm at 15 watts with this 0.7 coil, and I've got the airflow down to 3 tiny little holes, and it's vaping like this. A very, very nice mouth to lung vape, I can assure you of that. Now, what do you need to know about this? There's several things you should know. Firstly, this is tiny, very, very small. Look at that in my hand, really, really small. It's like 60 centimeters tall. This mod, crazy, crazy small, and the whole thing is this beautiful screen. I don't know how well that comes across on camera. This screen is really, really easy on the eye, really easy to look at, really easy to navigate. Really nice size for such a small mod to have such a big colourful screen is fantastic. 1600 mAh battery. Now when you're thinking about that mAh, remember you're at really low wattage with this thing, so you know it's a very, very effective amount of battery life when you're considering you're only at 15 watts with the stock coils that it comes with. The stock coil is absolutely fine, it's doing a nice job. You can vape higher, 17.5. And it's vaping absolutely fine, a little bit higher as well. I seem to have gravitated to 15 watts, and it's vaping a treat for me at that level. Now, available in a range of colours, green, black, and this one I have, this grey and black thing. It's got a really nice rubberised feel, very, very solid. You know, ELeaf stuff is always well put together, and this is no exception. This one is, I think it's the classiest looking mod ELeaf have done for a really long time. I really love the rubberised bits, I really like the feel, and it just disappears in your hand. It's absolutely tiny, tiny little thing, really pocket friendly, really snazzy, really impressed with this looks and fit and finish. In terms of what this can do, you know, it's got that TC, which looks great. It's got the TCR. It's got bypass mode as well. It's firmware upgradable as well, which is great. The software is literally on their website. You just bong on. Have you got a Windows? Have you got a Mac? Download it, bob it in, plug it in, happy days. But I don't know what they need to do with the firmware, to be honest, because it's vaping absolutely perfect in TC, in normal wattage mode. It's absolutely fine, but it's there if they want to do an update. If they need to do an update, it is there, so it's a nice future-proofing element. Micro USB on the bottom, 1 amp charging I believe on there, which again on a 1600 mAh battery is going to charge up quickly. It's not going to be a problem at all. The actual mod can fit 25mm tanks on top as well. Very cleverly done. It's a very square boxy design, so it does have plenty of room up top, and 25mm ATI can go flush on here, which is really cool. Really surprising. You know, this seems to be a thing now. There seems to be several companies making these mouth to lung kits. We've just covered one from Wismec. This one now. I don't really want to get heavily into comparing the two, but if you compare the two, the first thing you're going to notice is the size difference. This one is definitely the pocket friendly option of the two, really is the pocket friendly one. So that is, you know, a real benefit. How small, you know, you're not going to dissuade a smoker looking for a vape with this. You know, they're not going to go, whoa, what's that? I don't want something so big. It's really pocket friendly. It's really small. So yeah, so if we're going to go through, we're going to break this down into positives and negatives. What I would say is the only negative I have for this, the only slight negative, and I take this with a pinch of salt potentially. The flavour isn't fantastic on the coil head. It's wicking absolutely fine. Its longevity is good. I've put quite a bit of juice through this, and it's doing an okay job. It's doing a solid job. But the flavour's not amazing. It's not an amazing flavour. I don't think there's that many mouth-to-lung stock coils that do have great flavour, to be completely honest. But the flavour on this isn't great. I've got to say that. But it's perfectly adequate, and it's definitely going to be a suitable amount of flavour for a smoker. Absolutely no doubt about that. Obviously, you can put whatever tank you want on here ultimately as well. So I definitely wouldn't let that dissuade you from what is a really cool mod. Positives are endless. Firmware upgradable, really nice size, compact size, really awesome screen, really well put together. I think it's really good looking, super affordable. It's ELeaf, the build quality is tremendous. You know it will last time and time again as a perfect workhorse, perfect pocket mod. All the wattage, TC, all that stuff seems to be absolutely spot on. No issues with the 510, anything like that. It's vaping really well, and it's a really, really good mod. I can highly recommend this to any mouth-to-lung vapor, any smoker looking to quit the cigarettes and move on to electronic cigarettes. I think this is a very, very nice kit from ELeaf. Big thumbs up from me overall. I've been Vaping Vic, and I'll see you again soon.